Grandma Walton trying to tie her shoelaces will not be on this podcast tonight. Such a tragedy. Bear with me as I barely get through this damn show. In other news, Diddley is a diddling diddler who diddled and didn't make it, or did he? This podcast is brought to you by the assholes in United States politics who don't do shit about the dead in this country and help out everyone else in other countries first. If you drink Metamucil before bedtime, you might shit the bed by 5. Make sure to wake up so you can shower with suave. Now onto this damn wrestling podcast. We're going to talk about strange gimmicks in wrestling. I've got to close out this damn app on Zoom. For the love of God. It's always trying to show me how much time I got and how much time I got left. I have unlimited freaking time on here. I'm paying for this shit. Okay, so the first strange wrestling gimmick, let's go with the Shockmaster because he was one of the most surprising, and he was one of the most surprising debuts and one of the most controversial debuts as he crashed through the wall and everybody, including a robot, decided to freeze up and go, "Holy shit! What the fuck is happening here?" You know? Isaac Yankem DDS. He was supposed to be a dentist, and that was Kane. Long before Kane came around or became Mayor Glenn Jacobs, the Blue Blazer did not like the gimmick. I loved Owen Hart, but I hated the Blue Blazer gimmick. The Executioner. I don't remember much about him, but I remember it being so ridiculous that I didn't like it. The Goon. Same thing. Hockey gimmick. Uh, it was just one of the worst gimmicks I ever came up with. Paul Burchill. I won't talk about the controversy surrounding part of his gimmick. I'll talk about the pirate part. And the pirate part was so cheesy that it's not even worth mentioning, but I'm mentioning it because it's so strange. Damien Demento. So strange, it's not worth talking about it. Farouk. Even though he started out cheesy, especially with the helmet and the costumes, he eventually became a mainstay in tag team wrestling. But the name Farouk was always just weird. Gobbledygooker. Well, two green gobs of goose shit. That's the weirdest thing that they ever came up with. Don't know why they did. I guess they thought, oh, well, this will be clever. And then Mean Gene shit himself as the gobbledygooker came out the fucking egg. The Funkasaurus, Curtis Clay. Uh, didn't get over in WWE or NWA. May have been their world champion in NWA, but the general consensus is he was fucking terrible. Doink. One of the strangest gimmicks ever. Matt Osborne did such an incredible job with it, though. He's also done. He's also portrayed Big Josh. He's portrayed other gimmicks, but Matt Osborne had incredible range, and he was so damn good. Unfortunately, he was always just plagued with gimmicks and not ever taken seriously, unless he was in Mid South Wrestling under Bill Watts. He was taken seriously in the Rat Pack. Tugboat. Uncle Fred. Um, Tugboat was tag team partner with Earthquake. I didn't think Earthquake was that strange. I liked the Earthquake gimmick, to be quite honest. I didn't think it was that weird, but Tugboat was that was a strange gimmick. Couldn't you come up with something better than Tugboat to tag team with Earthquake? The natural disasters. Could have come up with, I think he went by Typhoon at one point. That's true. He did. I think he went by Typhoon at some point. Vinny Vegas and Oz, both portrayed by Kevin Nash. Truly one of the dumbest gimmicks ever. There's no appeal to either of those gimmicks because one is ripping off the Wizard of Oz, and the other is just an arrogant loudmouth with a stupid fucking name. Hugh Morris and every other gimmick other than Bill DeMott was a strange gimmick, and some of them I won't even repeat because they're that bad. The Shark. Of course, this is John Tenta, the same guy who portrays Earthquake. Um, but I can't remember anything too memorable about the Shark gimmick other than the fact that they had him change his tiger tattoo to a shark. The Johnsons tag team in NWA. They're just going to get a mention because I can't remember all that much about them, except for the fact that it was just the dumbest fucking tag team I had seen in TNA. So immediately, if I saw them in a match, it was off. I just went to something else. The Ding Dongs, the tag team in WCW. It was during the Jim Herd era of WCW, and he was such a shitty promoter. He didn't do a good job whatsoever. All he had done up to that point was be a pizza guy. Giant Silva, Kurgan, and Golga. All three of these guys were part of the oddities in WWF and during the Attitude Era. I didn't like their stable. I didn't like any of these guys. I thought it was stupid. There was just nothing appealing about it. I know some people thought it was interesting. Let's see here. Golga, I believe he came out to, yeah, he had the South Park shirts. And this is the same guy that was Shark and Earthquake, John Tenta. It's so stupid. Red Rooster. Now, even though I really liked Terry Taylor in WCW, it didn't really make sense. I enjoyed the Red Rooster gimmick. It didn't bother me. I was probably like 7, 8 years old at this point seeing Red Rooster, but I knew who the hell it was. It wasn't like he had a damn mask on. So I've already touched on Big Josh. Kiss Demon, talking about the band Kiss. They had a wrestler called the Demon associated with their band. It probably I keep saying probably, but it's not probably. It was the worst gimmick WCW ever came up with. Was Kiss Demon. Worse than the damn Ding Dongs. The King, the African Dream. Oh, oh, so good. So stupid. So damn stupid. Oh, that's one of the worst gimmicks ever is a King, the African Dream. That makes Mount Rushmore of the stupidest gimmicks ever, along with Ryback, which is the next guy, Skip Sheffield. What a stupid gimmick. This is a stupid name. And he had an interesting way about him in the ring, but he was not a safe wrestler. And Skip Sheffield was just a stupid fucking name. Ryback didn't do him any favors using that name. Now he's just a couch potato, literally. He's evolved into somebody who sits on the couch and eats potato chips and has become the essence, the epitome of a couch potato because he has eaten exactly what he is, which is a potato chip. Oklahoma. And I'm not talking about the state. I'm talking about the guys that made fun of Jim Ross, good old JR's Bell's Palsy, Ed Ferrara. Um, Jim Ross is one of my heroes. I absolutely love JR. I can't say enough positive things about Jim Ross. Um, I wouldn't be in some of the interviews I've been in Native American wrestling uh, if it hadn't been for Jim Ross. Jim Ross, I admire him a great deal. I look up to him, and I hope I can aspire to his greatness one day. Maybe not, maybe so, never know. On to the next one. But honestly, the Oklahoma gimmick was just, it was wrong. It was mean. It should have never happened. Ed Ferrara is a piece of shit meat portrayed by Sean Stasiak. The dumbest gimmicks ever. A little controversial too. Rico. Ew. Rico. Get Chuck and Billy. I said I wasn't going to talk about these guys, but I'll talk about them. There's nothing wrong with being gay if you're gay. But I didn't like the gimmick. I never will. I didn't like Rico. Uh, when they had their breakup, said, "Oh, this is just a publicity stunt." When Billy Gunn said that, I was like, "Oh, that's a relief." But it wouldn't have mattered because I loved Chris Canyon, and that was not a strange gimmick for me to see. Wrath, was it Wrath or was it Mortis? Son of a bitch! I can't remember which one it was now. Now I'm gonna have to look it up because I feel bad. But when he was in WCW is when he impressed me the most. Um, Chris, I should be able to remember that. Mm, it shouldn't take that long to find out who Chris Canyon portrayed in WCW. I feel like I think that. Huh, his ass. Go straight to Wikipedia. Mortis. Okay. Sorry, I got his name wrong. I should have gotten that. I mean, I guess that's really a strange gimmick. It really was a strange gimmick, but to me, it was fucking cool. I loved Mortis and the other guy he was wrestling with, Wrath. I thought that was, and they were enemies at one point, and they were a tag team at one point, and it was just one of the coolest things ever. And like I said about the whole Rico Chuck and Billy gimmick, it's cool for you gay if you want to be gay. I'm not against it. I just think, yeah, it has its own place, and more power to you if that's what you're going to be. But that was just for me at the time. It was strange. Bastion Booger explains itself with a dumb name. Naked Midian. I can't believe they ever even had that thing. It was Dennis Knight with a fanny pack in front of him, covering up his junk. Nobody needs that. The Booty Man, Kerwin White. Of course, we go back to the disciple who was also the Booty Man, or Brutus part of the beefcake. Someone gave me a doll when I was really little. It was like rubber and chew it. It wasn't a chew toy, I assure you. But as a baby, because I'm only 2 years old, I'm chewing on it. It's 1984. I first started watching wrestling. It's the first toy somebody gives me. Actually, it was probably not 1984. It probably came out later. But it was one of the first toys I had. I chewed on it. My dog ended up chewing on it, tore more holes in it than I did. You know how kids chew on erasers? Oh, that's why I was still chewing on it past two. Just being a goober, just being a kid. The Yeti, that is self-explanatory. Anybody that comes up with it, the gimmick the Yeti is smoking more than hashish. The question mark. One of the NWA's National Wrestling Alliance's best gimmicks. Um, Rest in peace. I can't remember the guy's real name, but I love his tag team matches with Aaron and their segments together. They did some magic, and it sucks that he passed away. because he was just a lot of fun to watch. If you ever get a chance to watch some NWA from the past few years, look up the question mark. Glacier. Now, at the time, I played a lot of Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, stuff like that. So Glacier was kind of like a Mortal Kombat character come to life. So even though I thought it was cool, it was still really strange in it. Black Ring, Seven, and Goldust, all portrayed by Dustin Reynolds, all strange gimmicks. Goldust being the most controversial of the three, even though Seven and Black Ring have segments. Uh, Gold Dustin Rhodes should never had to portray any of these and be taken more seriously. I just don't think Vince McMahon took it seriously enough. Shark Boy of TNA, one, even though it's a strange unit, it's one of the best of the strange villains. He's incredibly athletic guy. Giant Gonzalez, El Gigante. What a shit show. He belongs on the Mount Rushmore of shit show wrestling because he couldn't fucking wrestle. Joey Ryan. Ew. Ew. Oh, I'm going to address the elephant in the room here. Of course, what his finishing move was. You tell he didn't have any kind of elephant going on there. There was no trunk of sort. Um, I mean, this guy had sexual harassment written all over him, and then he gets accused of it, and he hasn't been in the wrestling scene since because he's a nasty fucking pervert, and the guy doesn't belong anywhere near a fucking wrestling ring. Stay the fuck away from wrestling, Joey Ryan. You're an absolute oh god, it's, I can't think of enough nasty things to say about Joey Ryan. There's so many things I could say about how shitty of a person he really is. He's just a toxic asshole. He really is. Danhausen. I've got a buddy who loves Danhausen. He's from Salina, Oklahoma. And if you've ever been to Salina, Oklahoma, you have to go to Pig and Out. It's a little restaurant where they have just the best food, and it's more affordable than McDonald's. McDonald's is some nasty ass crap. I won't touch it. Pigging out is so much better. It's more affordable. If you're ever in Salina, Oklahoma, pigging out. On Wednesdays, they have 75 corn dogs, put 75-cent corn dogs. And on Tuesdays, they have Indian tacos. We can't do the Indian tacos. So if you're in Salina, please go check out Pigging Out. All right, back to Danhausen. Yeah, that buddy of mine is such a big Danhausen fan. He's done meet and greets where he's met him. He's seen him in wrestling events. I even told him that he was going to be in Oklahoma City. He's going to be in Oklahoma City. He's got a meet and greet coming up. He got all excited, but he was like, "No, I'm going to be out of town." But if I wasn't going to be out of town, I definitely. So in Oklahoma, we got some Danhausen. I might think he's strange, and I might not be a big fan of him, but there's plenty of people who do love him. The Boogeyman, one of the strangest gimmicks. Oh my goodness. Um, Eating worms, making people eat worms. It's one thing when you're hooking a worm to catch fish, and I can do that, and I'm not skittish of worms by any means because I'm a country boy. I've been messing around in mud since I was little. Papa Shango. Now, as strange as his gimmick was, I love Papa Shango, and that may sound strange too. But I loved his music. I loved his look and his character and the vibe that he had. It was just, I thought it was super cool because he also portrayed Hamza Mustafa and The Godfather. Charles Wright portrayed all these guys, and it just shows how much range he has and how great of a worker Charles Wright is. He's one of the absolute best. But even though Papa Shango isn't one of the greatest strange gimmicks, and I don't think Godfather is a strange gimmick at all. I don't think Charles Wright deserve has. I don't think he has gotten the credit he has deserved. But he has truly been a pioneer for a lot of guys in professional wrestling. Just an absolute all around great talent. I can't say enough positive things about Charles Wright, the Godfather. But Papa Shango, I love that. And I was, as a kid, I was ticked off when I stopped seeing him in matches. I was like, what the hell? It's a good thing my stepdad didn't take me to an event and with Papa Shango not being on the card. I would have been pissed. Val Venus, very controversial, not just in wrestling, but in real life, because he's a conspiracy theorist. He's crazy. Um, I mean, it's okay to think some conspiracy theories are interesting and whatnot, but to go down a fucking rabbit hole of just nonstop conspiracy theories and just be like, oh, that's what's really happening. Yeah, that's what's really going on. You cannot be thinking that every conspiracy theory that's out there has some truth to it. That's just crazy talk. Kamala, the Ugandan giant, one of the best strange things ever. Um, can't say enough good things about Kamala. Uh, just a really good guy. If you ever see his interviews, a lot of them actually sad when he's not talking about actions, but how he was treating the rest of the business. I faced a lot of racism, a lot of bullying, and it. I don't want to talk too much about it because I'll get to crying because it's just not fair. When you see his interviews when he's talking about his real life that he's faced as far as racial prejudice and discrimination, it really is. Um, it's hard to watch a lot of his behind the scenes stuff, documentary. I tell you right now, if you're going to watch an interview about Kamal's life or documentary, whatnot, prepare to have some Kleenex with you because it's just a sad fucking story. God rest his soul. Big Daddy V, Viscera, Mabel, all portrayed by Nelson Frazier, passed away as well. A lot of these guys passed away. And just some of them, there's nothing but positive things you can say about them and how great of a worker they were. Um, but when they have such great range, Nelson Frazier, he was a very different character. Even though he was a big dude, he had some controversy included in some of that. Showed he could be a dark character as far as like being kind of gothic and sinister. He could also show that like I said, he had a fun side as Mabel, as King Mabel. But as Big Daddy V, he had some really questionable things he was doing. Or Viscera. I really don't want to talk about some of the things he did in the ring. It was just dirty. Um, and then there's Cheeseburger. Now, although that's a strange gimmick, and he became the world famous CB, it's definitely strange to see a wrestler's name is Cheeseburger. All right, well, apprehensive about watching some of these guys' clips. Maybe you might be thinking that. Well, go and watch this guy. If I'm going to talk about it. Just my Mount Rushmore of strange gimmicks are Farouk, Goldust, King Kong Bundy, and Cheeseburger. And then right behind all of them are definitely John Venus and Papa Shango. Cheeseburger is from New Jersey. There's a handful of guys I can think of right offhand, but I did a little research too. Just amazing talent in the area. World Heavyweight Champion Buddy Rogers, Steve Macklin, Balls Mahoney, Boris, and Dean Malenko, AJ Lee, Bam Bam Bigelow, World Heavyweight Champion Diamond Dallas Page, Jay Lethal. Enzo Amore would have been one of these guys if he was any good in the ring, but he's a talker for sure. He has the personality, but lacks the in-ring skills. D'Lo Brown, King Kong Bundy, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, ECW's Chris Candio, manager J.J. Dillon, Joe Gacy, Joe Janela, Chief Jay Strongbow. This surprised me because when I was doing research on some of these guys, he's actually from Ponca City, Oklahoma, even though he was billed from Ponca City. He's actually an Italian from Nutley, New Jersey. Brett Titus played football for Lacey Township High School in Lacey Township, New Jersey, before being a professional wrestler. And he's an incredible wrestler. I really enjoyed him. Matt Tremont, also known as Bolton, is from the city. And you have Gary Wolf from Hamilton, New Jersey, who wrestled for ECW. Then you have people outside of wrestling, Shaquille O'Neal, Mike Trout, Derek Jeter, who also comes from New Jersey, and although Dennis Rodman is from New Jersey, don't forget he played for Southeastern Oklahoma State and Durant, Oklahoma. So Cheeseburger joins this amazing list of tremendous athletes from the Garden State. You can think his gimmick is strange, but his work in the ring is a work of fiction. Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, 7th anniversary show. I'm going to review some of these matches since I said I would. Cobra impressed me. I can't wait to see more from him. What a great match. You get Factor Kolsch versus the Nature Boy Gage Flair match. Was really good. Both natural in the ring with great moves, technical prowess. That was a great match, guys. We really enjoyed it. The Fatal 4-Way match was fun. Gold Dragon is fun to watch. Those guys put each other to the limit. The commentator seemed gambler by Kenny Rogers had him laughing. It was a half-assed attempt, but at least he could keep it to him. Robbie Andrews was something. I think he's got potential to be a big name with his personality in anything. I don't mean just wrestling outside of it, because he oozes confidence, and you can tell it, you can just see it. It's, he's got big things coming. Robbie Andrews. Chaotic versus Alpha was the best match on the card, by my opinion. Both are talented athletes that actually gone far in the wrestling business. As long as they keep working hard, big kudos to those guys. Keep doing what you're doing because you had invested in the match. That's what a wrestling fan wants. I'm going to do a review on DCW, Down South Championship Wrestling. It's out of Mulberry, Arkansas. I went to the show and it was so much fun. I needed to do something worthwhile this past weekend, and I had planned on going to Mulberry for a while. When I saw it was Bobby Burns' birthday, I said, well, now I'm damn sure going. I'm not missing that for anything. So I'm glad I went. The Texas Outlaws are the best thing in independent wrestling. Call me biased, but those guys perform magic anytime they're on the mic or whooping someone's ass. I cannot say enough positive things about the original Renegade, Manico, or the Bone Crusher Bobby Burns. When you have someone that's as good as them, they make your job easy, and it doesn't even seem like work. Wrestling is supposed to be fun anyways, and they put the fun in wrestling function. Wrestling in the Ozarks couldn't function without them. Their tag team match turned into a 6-man tag, and it was a great match too. Austin Ariel is a great talent, and he put on one hell of a drop kick on one of those outlaws. I can't remember which Texas outlaw it was, but it was a beautiful drop kick for sure. Oklahoma's own Brandon Groom was on the card, and I can't say enough positive things about him or his match. He's the total package. No disrespect to Lex Luger, but Brandon's strength is pretty awesome. It was my second time seeing him wrestle, so I need to be seeing more of him because he's a tremendous talent. Bobby Burns, happy birthday. I love you. I'm glad you got to have your cake and eat it too. Boy, he got that cake right in the mush. Right in the mush. Mm, chocolate. On a final note, I've noticed that every time I ask a lady in public whose beautiful blue eyes I'm looking into, she asks me for a Honda. I guess I'm not understanding street lingo anymore. Why would you ask someone for a Honda? Better yet, why ask someone for their name just because they have searing, beautiful, piercing eyes that could pierce a nipple? It's just the same shit, different day. What the hell do I care? What do I know? I'm just a wrestling podcast nut looking for a squirrel to scratch. But that's none of your damn business. And that's the rest of the story. Good day.